What do you think would happen if you took the 5 best ranked players in the world and stuck them on a team together? They'd revive Harbor, play Clove, and dominate Tier 2 Valorant? How? Envy is filled to the brim with #1 Radiants who don't do anything besides queue ranked all day, but can't stop winning. Reyna, Clove, ISO, it doesn't matter. They could play a 4 versus 5 and still win. I mean, they practically did. Against Shopify Rebellion, Envy locked Harbor, the worst agent in Valorant history, and Kane's dropped an over 4.0 KD. But how? Shotguns, Odins, this match had it all. Forget everything you know about competitive Valorant because watching Envy will nuke your brain cells. Now, what makes Envy so much better than every other Tier 2 team is their godlike aim. It's what allows them to get away with running goofy-out comps like this. And if you want to aim like these superstars, you need to try Oblivity. When I used to compete, I used this program to help improve my aim, and to this day, I'm still landing clips like this.
Oh my god.
I am f***ing God. That was f***ing crazy. Oh my god.
Oblivity is an advanced aim training software that provides everything you need to build up your aim. Finally stop changing your settings and find your perfect sensitivity with Oblivity's Sense Finder. Or detect your bad aiming habits in the extensive analysis and replay space. And exclusively for this breakdown, Oblivity analyzed Exter's, Kane's, and Ion's aiming habits to put together these scenarios that will help you guys aim like your favorite ranked demons. Target switching, reading, and reactive flicks. Every scenario on this program has research backing them up. And now this software just doesn't train your aim, but Oblivity also provides warm-ups to combat muscle fatigue, slumps, and wear-outs, all while boosting reaction time, target acquisition, and spatial multitasking. So for 1/10 of the price of a new skin bundle, you can finally find your perfect sends, land sick nasty clips, and fuel my next breakdown? What more could you want? So if you want to stop whiffing, click my link down in the description to check out Oblivity today. Now, normally I start these videos by talking a little bit about the team comps, but there is nothing to talk about. No, really. Now, you might be asking yourself, why on earth is Envy running Harbor? Well, they're just bored. Literally. That's how good Envy are. Here, listen to what their coach had to say after the game.
This Haven comp, we've seen some crazy things out here. I did not think that Envy was going to be switching up a comp here in Stage 3. Talk to me about that.
I made a promise to Kane and Ion if they won the championship on Stage 2, they could play whatever they wanted for this upcoming match, the first match of the season, and I held that promise. So that's the only reason we ran it, and it was fun to run, and it gave us some good experience here making adjustments on the fly for the rest of the Swiss stage and playoffs.
So that explains the Harbor, but what about everybody else? Okay, well, this is my 4th video about these guys, so I'll make it quick. Inspire and Exter are Cypher and Yoru 1 tricks with thousands of hours spent perfecting their respective agents. Ion, Kane's, and Poppin are correct ranked players that lock Reyna, Jet, Clove, ISO. Basically any agent that sucks in pro play, Envy are specialists at, and they are really good at playing them. I mean, why make them swap? These guys spend all of their time in ranked playing these agents. It's what they're best at. Don't put them on boring agents like Breach, Viper, or whatever is meta. You're just handcuffing your own players, especially when they're this good. Comfortability matters a lot, and Envy's comps are littered with these quote-unquote bad agents. Oh, also, they've all been #1 Radiants before, top 10 in their alts, and 4 of their players rounded up the top 5 at one point. So is playing Harbor really going to slow a team like Envy down, who've seen everything that the ranked jungle has to offer? Probably not. Starting a pistol round, their plan is that in their 3-1-1, Kane's is pretending to be Breach and cascade up sewer and cap off lobby so that Poppin and Exter can fight. Normally, this is a Breach's job with his fault line since his stun can fill the lane so well, but instead we have a water wall. Refreshing. Now, while they're having a pool party, Ion and Inspire are gathering early info on mid and C. But Shopify? Their plan is to fake A and go B, but instead of a Harbor or Clove, their comp features a Viper. On offense, her Toxic Screen and Poison Orb are used to constantly generate timings around specific parts of the map. Every time they go up or down, the defense have to respect that someone could have walked into these areas. And one of the ways to counter these smokes? Push through them, which is what these ranked goons are good at. Now, this wall in particular allows an attacker or two to find timings in the lobby, but also smokes a link, which SR will need later. The round starts with Kane sending his cascade, Sarah's recon lands long, and Noya's only popped her Toxic Screen long enough for Dodonut to skip across lobby. But Exter and Poppin only heard one player make it past their water wall.
Only a probe by Dodonut is not actually backed up by anything on the Shopify side. It is just a feint, and I'm just likely going to realize this now.
The fake default didn't work. See, Yoru is the only agent in the game that can disrespect any type of pressure and still get out with his life. Only experienced Yorus will have this type of confidence. It's way riskier for anyone else, even Jet. So because these two have shut the fake down, Shopify feel like they have to take B after losing everything on A. But both of the wings are quiet. Ion knows the offense are coming B, so he preemptively smokes front sight. And with Harbor 2 close right, they feel like they can bunker down back sight.
Shopify trying to pivot, but taking this line over towards the B side of the map, but Ion just gives up a bit of space here, waits for Kane to get in. The Cascade gives him a staging ground, and Kane wants to play through that now, hearing the Odin make the footsteps slowed up. Noya fighting the side desperately. She definitely got the spotlight on her, but
the nice thing about running a Clove is that they can sit their ass on site, get theirs, and an even trade will usually favor Clove's team as they can still smoke. So because Kane knows Ion can smoke Spike later for the defuse, he made a play by using a second Cascade to hold on to backside, then using his high tide to get closer to the Spike and make Shopify feel claustrophobic. Then Noya did great to wrap and clear B, but she didn't know how to hold this harbor wall. Who throws this? That leaves Alexis alone in the 3 versus 1.
leaves Alexis having to play this post-plant spot. Nana's ball thrown out. She's chunked down through the masonry. And that'll be that.
And the harbor gets 4.
While you guys watch this clown fiesta of a match from Rankers, just keep in mind, every match matters as it could mean the difference between them making Ascension or not, which leads to franchising. You know, the thing that these guys have been working at getting into for years. There is a lot on the line to be running Harbor because it's funny. So on Shopify's Eco, they decided to 5-person cram themselves in the garage to try and overwhelm whoever's holding it. But once Envy realized what was happening, Extra left pop into solo this A line, they stacked B and C, but Shopify wanted to go into window against 2 judges.
Kane waiting to clean up the rest, and so he will. That is 3. Quite loose, and there's more where that came from. Judges galore.
And now, as much as I want to call buying 2 of these shotguns a bunch of monkey brain rot slop, it's actually pretty smart. With 4 controllers in this match, odds are there's going to be a lot of close quarter combat in or around these bubbles, especially when you have Harbor who can make whatever goofy shape he wants with his wall. But plus, with Yoru starting in sewer, a natural tight area, I kind of like this buy. And it's kind of demoralizing to die to. They talk about mind games. But whatever, Shopify only had pistols, and now it's time for the first full buy. Envy's plan is similar enough to the previous 2, you'll see what I mean, but Shopify are defaulting A with 4 people while Killjoy tries to hold as much space as possible for her team. This all-important round begins with Kane sending his wall, Mel teleporting before Noya raises her toxic screen, a good thing Extra only has a judge, Alexis pops a nano for sewer, and Sarah rips a recon for long, but no one shot it even though Poppin saw it coming. Now, Extra doesn't teleport right away, which baits out Dirtlenut's relay bolt. When does he leave?
Third line of defense. Recon not quite clear. Dexter affected by this relay ball. Knife in hand. Is that a...
Okay, that jump teleport for info, ballsy. But Dirtlenut did well to find the first blood. Only thing is that Alexis died, losing all of this space for Shopify. See, because Envy have weaker weapons, Ian heard from his teammates that they saw a billion enemies on A, so he knew it was relatively safe to walk down mid and make a play. It's encouraged. His team has worse weaponry. Why not try and take the enemy off guard by doing something out of the ordinary? And even if Clove dies here, they can still smoke all of mid, side on C, or short for A. Solo pushing mid in this situation is the right play. It took Alexis by surprise, but all that separates Shopify in a free site is Harbor with a judge. But wait, when does Ion stop swinging?
Ion's able to find Alexis. Look at this wrap around. Very tough to deal with. Ion benefiting from the pick-me-up overheal. And Shopify don't have a darn thing to say about it. That's the ace from Ion.
Pushing down mid? Correct. Swinging the entirety of Shopify at the same time? It's not as bad as it seems. If you look closely at when Ion popped his pick-me-up, he waited until the last possible second so that he could swing the attackers at maximum speed. This is hard to hit. And think about it. What else were Envy's win conditions? Kane Zera hugging this box with a judge and hoping he gets 3? With Extra on his way to help, also with 1 HP? And also with a judge? Envy needed a hero play, and Ion delivered. After getting farmed by Ion and losing their first full buy, Shopify had to save. With their 5 sheriffs, their plan was to find a timing or gap with their toxic screen and catch Envy by surprise. 3 attackers made the crossover towards long, but Sarah hung back, remembering what happened on pistol round.
Old men like us, we're the past. We're out of here, buddy. Oh my god. All right.
That's 2 instant upgrades. Kane, Zera, and Ion were sticking around on B, thinking that another B rush from Pistol was possible, but then made their way on A to try and beat back Shopify's execute. But since Donut shift walked all the way up long, Kane, Zera never expected her to be up this far. Ion then just got bombarded with utility, and Inspire was forced to die to the spike. Shopify had their first round, and that brings us to another full buy for both squads. The attacker's plan is to quickly apply pressure A, but go B, similar to Pistol, while Envy have given up on having their Harbor cascade A lobby for now. It's just too slow and doesn't offer a whole lot when this big-ass green wall is constantly in the way. So what does Kane Zera do instead? He buys an Odin and decides to sit in garage. Oh, Jesus. The barriers fall and Shopify move quick. Wall up, smoke long, Neon runs around and makes some noise, and Sarah's dart lands long. But Envy aren't impressed. They just wait up the scans, gather into Mel's dart cover, and dry swing out? Well, it has to be a read. Maybe Shopify didn't make enough noise to sell this fake pressure, or maybe Envy are just that confident and aren't respecting Shopify. Regardless, doing this is a rank play. You should just die if you swing out of a smoke dry. Now, with that info, Exter and Poppin are calling out that A is empty, so Ion plops down a roost for B, which makes Shopify wonder, wait, why did he smoke this? Did those brain dead monkeys push through everything we did on A? Oh, those baboons must have. Shopify feel like Envy have the read, especially because Kane Zera has walled garage, so Mel smokes past Ions, he gets inside of it, and Mel fakes her teleport to make it seem like she made a play. But Envy still aren't biting. Back on A, it is possible that someone could have made it into sewer with this wall going up, so Poppin backs down to hold it for Exter while he tucks into this cubby and hope that Shopify, who are regrouping to come back A, don't expect him here.
There is definitely potential for an unpunishable kill. Far from the one and done. Mel, though, love that little half peek.
Exter falls, so Poppin goes long to try and find the equalizer.
Exter can't quite get away. Poppin, though, able to assume at least his position and...
He can't! But the cavalry are here. Ion smokes mid-sight, and Kane Zera sends out his high tide, but shaping it in such a way that pushing sight is really awkward. Ion heads into heaven, and when the offense plants, him and Kane are flooding with Harmer's ult.
Their omen. A little bit awkward. Here we go. Reckoning now deployed. This is going to have Shopify scurrying over this site and unable to plow, which is a big issue for them now. 31 seconds left in the round. Ion's going to be back into the fight.
Ion jumped out of heaven on the first burst of Harbor's ult, but Noya stuck around. Ion activates his ult, but Shopify don't want it to find any value, so they run for the hills. But how far do both teams go?
To spam this Odin off of. It might end up being a double pack over towards this A side of the map. Yes.
Sarah's recon and Alexis's nano prevented Ion from getting value. But did they? Look at how much time Harbor and Clove burned away. And now Inspire's here. And with next to no utility, how are Shopify getting through Harbor's wall?
The problem is they have to go through this wall right now. They have nothing to go through with, and they're facing down an Odin.
Enemy remaining. 10
That was
seconds
uncanny
left.
from Kane. Even though he's in such an advantage position, now has to win the 1v1. Sarah, though, has been a problem. Kane does not care. Vomiting bullets in the direction of the sofa.
Jumping out of your own cove with an Odin. Smells like a gorilla rank play to me. But in all seriousness, the only reason why both Ion and Kane prioritized retaking through heaven instead of spawn was this fat poison orb. It makes coming out on the site so difficult, and it's why Inspire couldn't help Kane pull off this 2 versus 4 miracle. It's one of Shopify's main win conditions, getting Viper to site so she can overpower the post plan. But I guess doing this is just better. Whatever, with Neon's overdrive online, Shopify can squeeze out one more full buy, but have to win this one or will be forced to save next. Their plan this time is to default long in their 3-1-1, while Envy put their Odin to good use.
That is pretty absurd. Well, I'm glad we foreshadowed it being a pretty dominant weapon and player combination for Envy. Talk about delivering.
Now, if you've watched my previous Rankers breakdown, this play is going to look really familiar. Against Ambrosia, Poppin ripped an Odin through shop so that Kane Zera could walk out and isolate top mid. But here, Kane Zera spammed his Odin as suppressive fire so that Ion could fight Haybale. But he's lost the duel. Now, while that was going on, Shopify have one-way default, recon close, and haven't grabbed the orb? If Neon doesn't have a rifle, why not have her lurk short and Viper help long? Only because she can then grab the final point and have her pit online. There's just really no good reason to default this lane if it's not to grab the orb. Maybe you can snap some sight for util, but this lane is so long and you can get sprayed. It's why C-long defaults are so rare. Regardless, add on the fact that Sarah's shock has broken Inspire's cam, and this pressure has forced out a cascade from Kane Zera and Extra to rotate and pick up B. I guess the default did work. But now, the defense are spread way thin and desperately need info. So once Noya's toxic screen drops, Poppin fires a recon in the lobby and it scans nothing. Noya thinks she has a timing through sewer, but Poppin's played enough ranked, been in enough of these situations to know know that someone could have made it through here.
This starts to spread Envy a little thinner across the map, especially with Neuer actually finding a way to wedge herself in here. Popping in the unenviable position of having to watch or be concerned about both. A-long, that's to a spot.
This is why all you bronze players hate the Phantom. Pop in 140 Noya. And now as Shopify are running her way to take A, Mel calls her team back, expecting Envy to be headed that way. But just to be safe, she backs down and tucks into Cubby, but Inspire still spots her. He assumes that just his aura will be enough to drive Shopify away from C, but it's not. The attackers are barreling through Garage, and Inspire hears all this commotion, and with both trips on site, he can do some damage.
C site, which certainly looks like they're going to. It'll be pretty free unless someone runs into a kill trip. Inspire is certainly hoping that would happen.
Oh, there it is. Inspire gets exactly what he wants. Called out by a relay, but there's no follow-up there by Shopify. High Tide comes up. Extra caught with a paranoia. Can't win out against Odin at range. There it is, the menace.
Mel used her from the shadows to clear back sight, Sarah shocked a trip, Dodo stunned, and a recon even cleared back sight, but that still wasn't enough to give Shopify the confidence to push back sight, especially because Alexis got tangled in this trip, and these cages are scary, anything could be inside them. But it was this hesitation from the offense, caused by Inspire's growth setup, to buy just enough time for the remaining Envy players to come over, Kane flip up his High Tide, and just unleash his Odin through this wall. How does this work so well? That Odin embarrassment forces Shopify to call a timeout and gather themselves. Coach, this stupid Harbor is just spamming his judge, and now an Odin! These guns are so broken. What are we supposed to do? Jesus, you guys sound like a silver lobby. In all seriousness, if you're Shopify, it's actually kind of hard to counter Envy's comp. What the defense lack is stopping power, and neither Clove or Harbor have anything like a true Molly or Paranoia that would halt and execute. As a matter of fact, none of these agents have stall. So against a comp like this, you'd want to hit sites hard. But with Viper, how can you if you don't have exacto precise snakebite lineups? Even then, it's still difficult. Then add on the fact that Envy are one of the most unpredictable teams in the world, and Shopify have a lot on their plate. Coming out of their timeout, Shopify are on a Nico, and their plan is to abuse their Viper wall in a 1-4 spread. But Envy are tired of constantly having to worry about short, so have dragged over Ion to fight it in a new 1-1-3 setup. And now as Shopify walk down short, so does Ion.
Just throws the High Tide down mid, so makes it seem like someone from Envy could be pushing there, but it's actually Ion just pushing down Sewer, snapping onto everyone. Goes 1 for 2.
Pick me up feels like double tap in that situation. There's so much of a wider margin of error. Sarah stepped up as does Alexis, bounds into the shot. Eventually, Shopify put something together there in lobby, but
okay, if two of you are going to use your Viper wall, why not go on the same side so that you guys can fight it together? Yeah, Ion is cracked, but Shopify just gave this guy 2 1v1s. Then on long, Extra and Poppin just peeked Dodo together, and Envy's duelist eventually moved up long, where Alexis tried to act as a distraction long enough for Sarah to shoot everyone. NT. That brings us to another full buy versus full buy, where Envy have one of the strongest ults to have on Haven Online, Sova's Hunter's Fury. One wrong step, and Poppin can rip this thing through lobby and guarantee another round win for Envy. Especially with Yoru who can act as a trigger with his teleport, that's deadly. So to counter, Shopify are grouping in spawn, awaiting any aggressive shenanigans, including Odin spam. The attackers know Kane's era is running rampant with this thing, so just wait out his bullets. Then Envy are in the same setup. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. The round starts really tame, with the offense putting their smokes up on A, but all three of Kane, Exter, and Poppin all spamming their weapons through smokes and a wall, but can't find anything. The A defenders back off and focus on short, knowing an attacker could have made it through. But the map is quiet, so Clove plops a smoke down on B, and with Inspire's cam holding Garage, Harbor shifts to help Clove, as the offense could be doing anything, but Shopify have just been waiting. Now, after about 25 seconds, Sarah drones out all of lobby, and Mel smokes top default on C. Envy don't have a lot of map control. Just the threat of someone lurking in a sewer has forced the A players to give up sight, not wanting to play aggressive here for the 8th round in a row and be predictable. Instead, Exter has moved on to B, moves close to the entrance, and flashes. He spots nothing. But while that happened, these two broke Inspire's cam. All of this defaulting has forced the defense back, and just plan on playing retake with 3 strong ults to do so. But because Shopify don't want to get put in a Harbor Yoru Sova blender, they're selling a fake. Omen smokes heaven, Sarah darts sight, and Jordan flips up her fast lane. Top that off with Omen's Paranoia, and Envy are taking the bait. Noya and Alexis move up B, and catch Ion sleeping. They scale. Molly C Link, smoke it, but aren't taking space? Why? You found an opening! Envy are coming!
they're not convinced either. Slow it up a little bit. Now to make their way in, but Exer says Dimensional Drift is going to get me where I need to be, and he sees everybody grouped up here at mid. This is going to be a reckoning now to make things awkward. Once again, a great time by down to 12 seconds.
The triple ult combo has driven the offense away, and Exter has made it behind enemy lines, but Timmy's tapping on his shoulder. Excuse me, Mr. Exter, can you stop shitting on my team? The thing about playing against ults like Harbors or Sovas is that you have to give yourself enough time to plant, otherwise floods like this will happen. But that's a lot easier said than done. Ults are meant to be nuts, like you're trying to dodge Sova's Hunter's Fury while defaulting a lobby. Then because B got flooded, Shopify's next natural option was C. Kane smoked the run out, forcing Neon to slide through, and the offense hadn't even begun to deal with Inspire's trips. Despite taking extra precautions in the early round, this one was a mess. Alright class, tell me, what's better than one Odin? Viper Rule 34, the B-movie, the Brain Buds Patron, Yo Mama, no, 2 Odins. In Envy's repeated setup, we're about to see another way Sovas can contest lobby, by tearing through it. And Shopify are heading right into the spam. The round begins and the attackers scurry across lobby behind their smokes, and Neon and Omen run and teleport across while popping their overdrive, but Sarah and Alexis are forced to pray through the rain. But this recon has sped up Shopify's A-take. Dodona moves up and into the defense's ruse to protect Alexis while she ults, but dies to spam. Exter gets bored and wants some ecos of his own, so he preps a recon for Sewer while Exter holds his long.
Neil coming from Poppin, in a position to spray through this. It's Odin could be a very big issue.
I respect the play, but against a couple stingers and a sheriff, just play retake. Especially because the rest of Envy are here. Inspire has the rest of the map on lock, allowing Ion and Kane to rotate 2A, and Envy's Harbor is spamming right where Poppin died from. But Mel gets out unscathed. She smokes Heaven, Exter's time is up, he's out, and Mel flashes backside.
In that spot, this will allow for a plant. Envy?
Shopify have taken A, but wait, why is Viper lurking? Okay, so if our whole win condition is for Viper to get onto site and lock out the post plant, why are we sending her on a lurk? It's an eco. Why not just put all of your eggs into one basket? Because if you do take site, Envy won't be able to win against this, no matter what guns you have. And you used your Killjoy lockdown. Site was basically a guarantee. And now down 3 versus 4, Shopify have to go big, but that won't be easy. On his way out, Extra blasted Sarah down to 1 HP. So how can this win against this? Only if Envy, the team full of ranked monkeys, throws.
No Viper. Extra might look to flash out, drop down out of this. It's a very aggressive variant on the retake. Oh, buddy, that is awkward.
Guys, Viper is dead. Yes, having Harbor throw his cove so that Yoru can flash teleport into it is pretty cool, but why not just come out of spawn? Well, I mean, when you can do this and still win, I guess Envy thought they could get away with anything. But at least wait for the Heaven Smoke to fade or plant to go down so you know for sure that no one is waiting in this corner ready to kill you. And now Mel knows that Envy are feeling confident, so she taps to bait out another retake attempt.
Mel is waiting for the gate crash appearance on the site. Cove shielding to some degree.
Dude, I know we're up 7-1, but why are we swinging solo? Clove isn't going out, and Harbor's still in spawn.
That leaves Envy down to 2. Now, we're in a post plant for real. Sarah's low. Kane might just get a big iron involved.
One enemy remaining.
Now, would have been up to Ion. Too much to ask. A very, very needed round there for Shopify.
Had Envy waited a bit before trying to pull off that sick Harbor retake, they probably win that round too. Look at where Shopify played in their post plant. Cove, flash anyone trying to break it, teleport, and all swing out at the same time. That would have been sick. Regardless, Envy lost, and it's been 9 rounds, so they feel like it's time for a change. Inspire's moved over to A so they can find some cheeky spam kills with his trips in Heaven and retake with his cam, while these 4 get ready to fight mid with Kane Zera and his Bucky. Okay, well now Shopify are defaulting around the map, but are expecting something aggressive in their 2-2-1. The round starts, and Alexis turrets window that secures all of mid. Mel smokes along like we've seen before, and the only one doing anything is Noya. She must be confident in her lurks because she drops the wall, peeks Sewer on her own, and discovers nothing. And now that about 15 seconds have passed, and the map's been quiet besides these 2 trying to wallbang Garage to break some of Inspire's trips, the offense move over into their C-long default. Mel smokes top site, and the offense slowly creep up, while Alexis has inserted herself right outside Garage, and Noya in Sewer. Sarah shocks once, but Poppin takes down Mel! With no map control info, someone had to do something, but who peeks long into 3 people? Now, with no more smokes, Shopify are flabbergasted, but Ion just smokes them off. Extra leaves Kinzera and prepares to fight with Poppin and his drone from backside, and he tags Sarah. But before Extra left Garage, he caught a glimpse of Alexis, so Ion peeks out a B to check and kills her. Shopify now have next to nothing going for them, so Noya starts peeking at a short, but here's that she's been caught in 4K.
Shopify, you're under a minute in the round. You are snarled up in C long. Noya's hoping to...
If a Cypher is playing A, the safest place for them to spam is in heaven. Noya had the right read and starts stalling in spawn, starting with a snake bite. She runs up and spreads out her pit. This is what should have happened last round. She has A unlock and is calling her team over, but hold on, wait. How did Kane's Era get into mid window?
Some good crosshair placement from Noya. Are they going to be ready for Kane? Can they even just go 1 for 1? They can.
So you're meaning to tell me that after Alexis died, Kane knew mid was open. He sent out a cascade to protect himself from rotators, strolled right past the fallen rifle, hopped into window with his airplane Bucky, and got 2? Now, maybe he just didn't want to make any noise in mid by swapping weapons, but come on, what are we watching? Now, I don't even know how Noya even starts trying to come back from this, since the spike's down in spawn.
Spike down.
Absolute
Attackers
disaster. Noya on an island. This round is just finished.
No one's getting the spike to her. No way to come to the rescue. Trying to fight her way out. 3 kills is all she's going to have, though.
And the monkey-ranked brain-dead pushes don't stop. On Shopify's following eco, they try to go for a quick B plant by having Mel teleport in behind a one-way in recon, but Kane's cascade scared her off despite Noya's snakebite protecting her. This dude with an Odin has been pretty scary. Regardless, this commotion has encouraged Ion to walk all the way down C and is peeking into the attacker's spawn.
Wyatt, at a lot of these sites, they're trying to spread envy pretty thinly, but when these envy individuals are finding multi-kills every time they see someone, it's really hard to use that against them.
Yeah, they're just taking so much control of the map.
Relay, pretty good, but Ion's better now, back in the game. That's a tough one to swallow for Donut. Of course, Ion sticks around now and finds the ace, a second ace.
Then the final round was a mess. Shopify tried defaulting C long again, but Inspire just destroyed Donut with his one-way, while Sarah swung her ult all over the place. Then Mel tried teleporting past Inspire strip, but Extra heard it. She died, and it's hard to win a 5 versus 2, especially when Ion's doing this.
Envy a team that are pretty adamant about being at Ascension. Not many opponents have been able to argue with that movement from Ion.
But you know what? Maybe Shopify need a new start, and switching sides is probably the best way to do it. Starting in a 2-2-1, Envy won a default long and snag an orb for Harbor, maybe? His ult is pretty decent for only 7 points. But the defense are barreling down this way in their 4-0-1. Yeah, there's a turret on B, but there's timings to be found in mid. The second half starts with Kane's Era sending a cascade down long, but have no idea 4 people are pushing through it. Dodo stuns, Mal flashes, and Extra is out, while the cascade slows Shopify's push. But the defense recognize that going too deep will get them killed. They aren't Envy. So a bulk of them head back, while the offense have realized that if there's that many players on C, B is free. Ion smokes, swings, break the turret, and recon backside. Noya puts up her wall, but Envy knows site is free. They take the time to clear backside, but with Inspire holding garage with his sliver cam and Kane hearing the defense back off after this aggressive push, he decides to start retracing their steps. Shopify in the meantime have elected to triple flank garage while Pop-In finally starts to plant.
From Kane happening.
There's Inspire taking his time.
Oh,
Ends up being traded out.
Oh, not like this. I mean,
Inspire got traded, but the map's been flipped. I mean, who expects a flank through C long as Harbor? Now, with Mel going down, Shopify are now in the attack and need to hit B.
had to get, if anyone was to get some vengeance for a knife kill, it would be Mel. Mel deserved that after getting the knife kill on map 1.
Oh, that is generally disgusting from Poppin.
Okay, this game is basically over, but watching Envy is just too much fun, and I can tell that you guys like them. Especially last round where Poppin swung to throw off Shopify's aim. This extra sidestep was really nice. Regardless, SR bought a couple buckies last round, left C open since they just pushed it last round, but that's where Envy went. Unlucky, and the poor force buy just didn't stand a chance. That brings us to match point, where Envy just want to run it down A, but that might be hard, because before going to C, Noya has plopped down this big-ass poison orb that is extremely difficult to clear. But will it be enough to win this bad by the round? The barriers drop and Kainzera immediately cascades down long and his team run right past Shopify's dark cover and recon. The team splits into a 1-4 where Inspire can hold and slowly pinch short while everyone else goes long. Extra and Poppin send a recon and gate crash towards site, but it gets shot, the poison orb blooms, and the 3-stack is here.
And absolutely, I mean, it feels like contingency though. Yeah, you know, with your ISO. Similar sort of approach, except it doesn't quite move as far. It's going to be Kane walking up, wants to fight for him. Why not? Sarah's very low. She's seen better days, and oh, Ion predicts the walk out of smoke here, or maybe here's something. Either way, heads up moment. Mel going to work. Stingers have to sing here in America. It is mandated in the knife attempt, unfortunately.
Shopify did well to dance around this poison orb, but just didn't have the guns to do much else. Now, Noya is finally here after convincing herself that an Inspire lurk isn't about, but only has a judge. But Poppin is pretty low. It's winnable.
Spike planted.
When time to top 5 Poppin to win. Noya takes a bit of damage though, makes it hard to win out here against Inspire at range. And so,
Win.
Which game is more ridiculous? This one? Or the grand finals against Ambrosia? It's a close call. Watch this video and find out for yourself.